What happens when a director takes this idea that silence, which is meant to be a strength in order to survive, is also exposed as one of our biggest vulnerabilities as a people? I really want to talk about that today with you. Welcome to Copper Shock, where we are horror obsessed. I am Tasha Wheelhouse. Today, we are discussing A Quiet Place Day One, directed by Michael Sarnoski from 2024. And I watched it again on Paramount Plus a couple of days ago. This is actually a very deep film, which I don't think I gave it enough credit for when I first saw it. A Quiet Place takes place on the very first day of the alien invasion of these listening monsters that fall from outer space to Earth. How many alien movies have started that way? But the point is, it's not about focusing on the monsters. We've got two other films for that. What this film does is it takes a close, hard look at the characters and how their lives are changed by this single event. The film starts off with a woman named Sammy. She is in a hospice. She's clearly unhappy with life. The very first thing that we hear from her is a poem she's written that she's reading out to her circle therapy group, and she's talking about how the hospice smells bad and the patients suck, and the cynicism that just seethes from her is radiant. But we do get a glimpse of hope from her when a nurse suggests that she takes a bus into New York City with the rest of the patients to go see a play, and then after she asks, can we get pizza? And the nurse is like, yeah, sure, why not? You can tell she doesn't care about the play that she goes to with the other patients, but it is after this play that the nurse gets a call while standing on the streets of New York City, one of the loudest cities in the world, saying, you guys have to come back to the hospice now, something is wrong. And the first thing that you see her just respond to is, no, we're getting pizza. You said we were going to go get pizza. And her response to this feels oddly extreme, but then the whole world falls apart because then all of the aliens begin to terrorize New York City, breaking glass and buildings and snatching people away from each other. And it's a really tense scene. And as the world collapses around her, she fixates on one seemingly trivial goal. She has to get Patsy's pizza. Through her journey of survival, she runs into Eric, someone who is shocked, dazed, and alone. This film accurately depicts that while silence is protection, it is also a symbol of pain. The story unfolds not just through the things that they are doing, but everything that is not said as they are doing them. When Sammy first tells Eric, I'm gonna go get pizza, that's what my goal is, your goal needs to get to the water so you can get out of the city, he says to her in bewilderment, I think the world might be ending. And Sammy responds with, and I think there's one last slice of Patsy's pizza in the world and I'm gonna get it. She is very clear about her conviction of what she is going to do and that he is more than welcome to go try and do this other survival stuff, but this is the one thing that she has to do for herself. Eric, who has no one else in the world, decides that he is going to adopt Sammy's mission as well and says, okay, let's get pizza. One of the comments he makes in that apartment is when Sammy asks him, do you have anybody that you can go see? He says, my parents are in Kent. They're in England. He almost makes a comment to himself, I went to law school. It was the one thing I was supposed to do. And so his entire purpose in life has been completely ripped away from him in this one day, and Sammy has provided him a new mission that he can participate in and that he could fulfill so that he himself will also feel a little more healed. Talking about some themes of this film, the guarded silence of Sammy. Sammy, a poet, uses her voice into an artistic expression for what is going on with her soul. She finally allows Eric to read one of her poems, and it is one that she wrote while in the hospice because it comes from her personal notebook. What I didn't understand about this poem is the more I thought about it and looked at the film in retrospective after watching the whole thing, Sammy is talking about her father. Sammy's father had cancer, and that she is talking about this idea that we take our moments for granted, or we think about life until it becomes so much smaller that you begin to count as that time with our loved ones goes down. Sammy likely has cancer in the way that her father did, and she has been staring down the barrel of death for months before this day ever happened. And as he reads this poem, I remember just softening, listening to it. And I want to read it for you here. Bad math. He said 1 to 2 years, and it has been 2. You said 4 to 6 months, and it has been 6. And Mrs. Freelander taught me subtraction, and the corner store taught me addition. I only used simple maths all my life, and I never needed more than more, and less to 4 to 3 to smaller and smaller, until months to days to hours to seconds, but to not now. And in this scene, as Eric reads his poem while there's a thunderstorm rolling, both of them allow themselves to scream and cry out loud, and it's this heartbreaking, cathartic moment of every piece of grief they've wanted to do over the last course of 24 hours. So when the world breaks and she says, I'm going to get pizza, it's because she explains to Eric in the film that she has a memory with her father, they would always go to Patsy's Pizza, and it's a beautiful memory that she carries about her dad. And if it's the last thing she's ever going to do, she's going to get Patsy's Pizza in Harlem. Now, a lot of the themes that I'm discussing aren't actually said in the film. No one directly says Eric has to find a sense of purpose by working with Sammy. No one directly says that Sammy has cancer. We understand that Sammy has cancer because of a scene where she's going through withdrawals without a very specific dermal patch that looks like it's some kind of opioid, which is only assigned to people who have extreme body pain that is typical of cancer. This script gives its audience a lot of credit to put its own conclusions together. Eric really goes out of his way to make sure that Sammy is safe to reach her destination. Even by the time she reaches Patsy, she's very weak. Eric is almost like letting her lean on him as they're walking through New York to get to Patsy's Pizza. Like, you can tell that she is slowing down. When you get to the climax where they finally arrive at the location of Patsy's Pizza in Harlem, it's burned to the ground. There is nothing left in there. That the one thing she wanted to do for herself on this day is not even a possibility anymore. You could see something inside of her just break. So Eric asks her to please take him to the bar where her father used to play piano at. And they go to that bar and he asks her to wait there. He just walks until he finds another pizza place because it's New York. He brings back a box of pizza, and with Sharpie he writes Patsy's Pizza on it and shows it to her, just almost like a little kid of like, I got you this. And it's very adorable, and she smiles at herself, and this is a small gift that he gets to give her. This is her way of connecting to her past. Even as Sammy takes a bite of this pizza, she gives him this look and shrugs like, it's all right. It's one of the first times that we see Sammy's playful personality peek through. After that smile she gives him, Eric also joins that playful smile by getting up on the stage, begins to play act a magician's show, asking her to be his assistant. This makes Sammy smile even more, and you could see the joy on her face that she thinks it's goofy, maybe even a little dweeby, but she's role-playing with it. She is feeling those emotions of joy that she probably has not had in years. Lovely, heart-melting scene. And there's a lot of that in this film. There's a lot of sentimental value that comes from this monster movie, which is surprising and very welcome. Throughout the film, Sammy has been wearing this big, oversized yellow sweater, but she holds on to it almost like a comfort blanket, and you don't understand why until almost the very last shot of the film. A Quiet Place Day One has an exploration of unspoken symbols. There are so many things going on in this film that you have to visually see and recognize and pick up. They don't explicitly call out. You see, just for one shot, a piano in this apartment, but it's got books and bottles on it. It looks, you don't do that to a nice piano that you like, by the way. Probably expresses a lot of pain that Sammy was feeling toward her father in his death. The sweater that she wears everywhere. She finally gives it to Eric. I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's nice. Until nearly the last shot of the film where Sammy is holding a picture frame from the bar of her as a little girl looking at her dad, and he's wearing that yellow sweater. That her gifting that sweater to Eric is this closure of being willing to say goodbye to her dad. She wanted someone like Eric to have something like that to remember her by. This is a woman who is dying of cancer. Even if she survived this day, she wouldn't survive for long. She recognizes death and she understood it. And even in the very last shot of the film, she was going out on her own terms. She chose how she wanted to go, and she did it standing her ground, which was interesting. With all of the moments that are quiet, that are not spoken out loud in this film, Sammy's illness, her sweater, the meaning of Patsy's Pizza, how she is able to finally let go and peaceably say goodbye, they are shown to us through the emotions of what is happening in this world of these characters. The power of this film is not in its dialogue, but truly in its unspoken moments. So what did you think of A Quiet Place Day One? I would love to hear your thoughts, what you did like about it, what were some pieces that you missed. I do have some questions about the monster still for Industrial Light and Magic. Maybe that's a discussion for another day. Please subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this video. It helps support us, or even just give a like. You are wonderful. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.